Sup y'all, here's my unscripted, unorganized thoughts on my favorite items in video games. And when I say item, I mean kinda pretty much anything, weapons, consumables, things that you get that weren't there before. Anyway, let's get to it. First off, the Terra Blade. I love the Terra Blade. It's iconic, it's green, it's a super fast and powerful melee weapon, and a decent ranged weapon that doesn't consume any magic or ammunition. And it's the embodiment of the entire land of Terraria and the game itself. What an amazing weapon. It's my favorite of all time, so far. Next up, the Leviathan Axe from God of War 4. This thing makes me feel so manly when I'm swinging it around, and it's mystical, and it freezes things, and I can and chuck it at an enemy and freeze them. And the recall animation is so cool looking. And then you have the go when it spirals around you. Oh, it's awesome. Anyway, next up, the Pizza Cutter from Bloodborne. It's super loud, over the top, and violent. And it's like, at least in my experience, objectively the best weapon in the game. Like, I kept comparing it to other weapons throughout my run, and it was just better than them every single time at every turn. The Assist Trophy from Smash, super powerful, super random. You could get Waluigi or the dog. Next up, the Rhino from Ratchet and Clank. I never used it, but my brother said it's really cool, and it looks pretty cool. From what I've played of Ratchet and Clank though, I never used it, I never got it. So, I like the Buzz Cutters. They're like homing projectiles. It feels good to get a bajillion little guaranteed hits on the enemy. It's like they're being attacked by a swarm of bees. Next up, I don't know if this is really an item, but the Knight from Chess. It's so cool that it moves in an L shape and jumps over other pieces. And I know the Queen is like objectively stronger, but there's two knights and there's just one her, and she can't jump over pieces, and she's worth like a bajillion points, so your score goes down a lot if she gets in trouble. A knight, you could send him out there and he could do a ton of work, and if he dies, who cares? You have another one, and he's not worth much anyway. Except he is worth a lot, which is why I'm mentioning him. Next up, the Grass Shield from Dark Souls 1. I don't know if that's its actual name, but I know there's the word grass in there somewhere. Anyway, its ability to passively regenerate your stamina without taking up a ring slot, and because the stamina regeneration in Dark Souls 1 is slow, it feels super good to have it on and to use it to protect yourself, and it negates like, I think, 95% physical damage? At least, that's really good. Overwatch, and by extension Overwatch 2, the anti-nade. It's super satisfying to land it, and you have to like aim it, so it's not just like a freebie every time you use it. And the effect is super powerful. If you get multiple people with it, the entire team has to be like pushed back because they can't get healed at all. Or it forces out like Kiriko's Suzu thingy. Also, it does like a bunch of damage. Next up, Uncharted 4, we got the FAL. Now there's a lot of great weapons in here that all feel really good to use. The Baroque, the RPG, machine pistols, the arcs, stuff like that. But the FAL feels so reliable. It does good damage, has great range, great accuracy, and that 3-hit burst, it feels so satisfying. Just a side note, but I also really like the grenade. Little Nightmares 2. I love the detective hat. Spider-Man, just the first one, I didn't play the second one. I really love the impact webs. Just being able to instantly incapacitate a dude forever with just one projectile, that's nuts. Angry Birds, I like the big dark red bird, just plows through everything like a bowling ball. Outside, I really like the laptop. Having access to the internet will give you access to a bunch of side quests, mini games, whatever. Snake, my favorite item is the apples. Pac-Man, it's the power pellets. You get to take revenge on the ghosts that have been chasing you the whole time, but you have to conserve them so that you can use them at the right times. If you use them all at once, then you're kind of screwed. So there's that element of power, but also strategy with the resource management. Minecraft? Ooh. It's a close one between the iron pickaxe and the egg. I'm gonna go with the iron pickaxe. Being able to mine diamonds for the first time, and the fact that it's such a long-lasting weapon that's so reliable, I'm a big fan. It's a big comfort item. Hollow Knight, my favorite's the Gathering Swarm. I hate walking around picking up loose change. Solitaire, my favorite item is any of the aces, because then I can immediately put it down in the pile. In Elden Ring, there's a whole myriad of items I've used so far in the game. I started out with like the Falchion, then the Mace, then the Bloodhound Fang, Then I used the Rose's Axe for a little bit. Then I used the Godskin Peeler for a lot of the game, and that's what I used to beat the game for the first time. Then after that, for my subsequent runs, I've used the Buckler, Fists, and more recently the Antspur Rapier, which has gotten me through a lot of the DLC bosses. And also, the giant hammers. Ooh, those are really fun to use because they just go blam and they instantly kill the enemies. So if I had to choose my favorite of all time, I'd say it's the Inferno's Prelate because it's just so gnarly looking and strong, and then you have the Prelate's Inferno, which is pretty cool. My second favorite is the Healing Flask. Anyway, those are my favorite video game items that I could think of off the top of my head. I'll probably make another part if I think of more items. So, okay, bye guys.